What's good? Hello, hello. IG, it's Marquise Martin Hayes. It's time for the Monday Moment. This week I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm going to come to you live. I've got some people I want to bring on. I've been talking a little bit about this idea of intellect, and I introduced you guys to Liza Soul, the women's coach, who's doing a retreat down in Miami. She's coming on. I see her out there in the chat. She's coming on in just a few minutes. So that's going to happen. What's up, Marlene? Good to see you. Good to see you. We also have Eunice Edie coming on, who's a very good friend of mine. She's like a sister to me, who is going to talk about her experience with the women's retreat. She traveled from Miami to Switzerland, and she's going to talk about what happened there, what her life's been like since that point in time. Eunice, I see you. Let me bring in both Eunice and Soul. What I want y'all to think about is, in this moment, where are you? And hopefully you'll discover something amazing that will change your life. Living. Let's see. I think we have them coming on here. Except you all. I'm waiting. I did accept. Somebody's here. What's up, Soul? How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Eunice should be dropping in as well. Hey, Eunice!
Hi. How are you guys?
I'm good. Real quick, I have to check. Can you guys hear me? Can you ladies hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear us?
I hear you guys.
Okay.
Great. I didn't know if my background noise is too loud. So this is excellent. Excellent. Welcome to the Monday Moment. I've never done it live. I've never had guests on. I've never shared the spotlight, but today I am. We got several of my friends chiming in. I want to say hello to those friends really quick. We got Juan's out there. Manfred. You want to do what?
I said I want to get adjusted too. Let me get myself together.
I know, right?
1 second.
What's up? I got Jay from India. What's up, brother? Good to see you out here, man. I've got several y'all. Y'all got these code names, so forgive me for not acknowledging you personally by your name. I know you, but I gotta translate your name in order to figure all that out. Anyway, it's the Monday Moment, where I like to take moments to dial in a way to help you absorb what's there for you so that you can live your best life in every aspect of relationships, in work, parenting, you name it, by discovering yourself. And today, as I explained a few moments ago, I have two special guests. I've got Liza Soul, the international women's coach. I've got Eunice Basti, who's like super crazy design lady, tearing up Miami and other coasts and things that she's also doing. And I'm going to essentially fade to the back, ask a few questions here or there. They want to talk to you about something very special coming up. Ladies, go for it.
Yeah. Me so. How are you, my love?
I'm fine. I'm fine, and I'm excited. And yeah, it's been a crazy time now. Like after the retreat, so many things showed up, so many things discovered, but also to adjust, right? Because not only you as a soul client is making this experience, because we all are sharing the same room, is like the sisterhood. So I like after the retreat to tune in, to ask what is going on in your life. Yeah, what is present in your inner space right now, and to see how much shift happens, but not only in their life, in my life too. And it's really like kind of, yeah, like changing clothes, like in the theater of life, choosing a new role, right? And see what fits still with my newest self, with who I truly am, and what's not. What is from the past programming, from father and mother that gave it to us, or from the society, and how can I be more connected to my truest self? So yeah, and maybe you can share how was it for you, like to come back from Switzerland back to Miami? How did you felt in your old space, in your old environment, and how did they receive you?
So this can you guys hear me? You can hear me good?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, great. No, I coming back into my life, it's been a journey. I think as much as the retreat was a journey, but coming back has been a journey.
Uni, can you do the audience
Yeah,
a favor and tell a
yeah.
little bit about the context of what we're talking about, the
Okay.
retreat and things?
Great. So I met Soul through Marquise, and it was at a time in my life where some things were coming up for me in my personal life, in my career. I've always kind of been a person of ambition and personal development. I've had some really great moments of development, but nothing really stuck. And so I do believe now that timing plays a big part in that process, but also it's who you're partnering with in that growth and in that discovery that really allows for it to really stick. And for me, meeting Soul at a coffee shop that was supposed to be a hour meeting because I had to go to another meeting, turned into 3.5 hours, and then another hangout later. It just started off in the conversation, and the first question she asked me is, "How is your heart?" And that question pulled so many emotions out of me because no one ever asked me, "How's my heart?" They always ask me, "How are you? How are
Yeah.
things? How's work? How, you know?" But no, how is your heart? I think I want to say I took a minute. So if you recall, I took a minute and I immediately cried. Like, this lady doesn't even know me. No one have ever seen me in that way. So to my point of a little backstory, yes, I've gone through things where I've tried to develop, but nothing ever stuck. And so this was the first time that someone spoke directly to my spirit, and really was open to see me, feel me, hear me, and so on. So this idea of Switzerland just came up, and she was just talking about her life, and we had gone through all of the things, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm doing something in Switzerland," and it wasn't even an invite. It was just like, "I'm doing something in Switzerland," and whatever. And I looked at her and I was like, "I'm coming to Switzerland," and she was like, "Okay." I had no idea how I was going to get it done. Like, financially, how was I going to get it done? I'm the business developer for a brand that is, my role is really important to this company. How was I going to find the time to get away? Where's the vacation time? Where's the money? So there, because my life had committed, I had new financial commitments at this function, this particular venture of my life. And things just really worked out. I manifested that thing all the way to Switzerland, to the point that I got a bonus that was exactly the amount that it cost to go to Switzerland. I'm a huge believer in numbers now. We talked a lot about angel numbers. My culturally, I believe in ancestry and your ancestors speaking to you in alignment. And when I paid for my ticket was 1777. I screenshotted it and sent it to Soul. I was like, "I'm supposed to be coming," but that's the backstory to the retreat. It was just, I kept saying, I want to give it to myself. I want to give it to myself. Please make it work out. Universe, work it. If you don't do anything for me, please let this work out. And it not only worked out, but the process of going to Switzerland, I was able to visit Paris. Paris was a place of a bit pain for me. I had a really bad experience in Paris about 4 years ago. No, 5 years ago. And I had the opportunity to stop in Paris, do some healing before going to Switzerland, before disconnecting in the mountains. And my life has completely opened up since then. So much so that I'm making some very big decisions for my life, because I am choosing that I have this power and I want to yield to this power. And if I can embody this, then there's no failing. If I am aligned and you know, centered, that there's no way that I can fail. And so I'm just really excited. You know, I laugh and I talk about this, you know, because I talk to my friends a lot. I have a very small group of man, I want to call them angels. Some of them pray for me, some of them speak into my life, some of them hold space for me. But I'm really grateful. I talk about this to them and they can't, they're like, Uni, congratulations, or Uni, I can't believe it. But the truth is, I don't see the growth, but that's why it's so important to go on this journey with people so that they can help you see the ways in which you've grown and developed. So I feel like I'm talking a lot. I don't know if I answered your question, but
I got something there.
okay.
Soul often talks about, she was going through this phase talking about some things she learned about a butterfly. And one of the coolest things that you just described is that she says that a butterfly doesn't know how beautiful it is.
No.
It can't see its wings. It needs others around to inform. So living in community provides that for us, right?
Absolutely.
And your circle should be small, like you said, yours is, and mine's small too.
Yeah.
But it's inside of that we get the healing and the protection that we need. So I love it. So go for it.
Yeah.
No, it's been so beautiful to see how brave you are, you know, to have this courage. And it was the first time that you were traveling alone. And I know how much you need to, like, the wanting, like this burning for a change, this burning for knowing who you truly are. Because who we are, that is the most important question that you could ever ask in your life. Who am I?
Who am
and
I?
this answer will always be like fluid. It's like the river, it's always changing. And if you don't take time, like if you don't put so much importance in your inner world and more in your outer world, it won't be that clear. It won't be like you're gonna receive another response from somebody else instead of going within you and receiving this response from your soul. To really discover yourself. Like I'm just holding space, you know, like the body does what the body does. And I truly believe that like there are some energies that can flow through us if we allow ourselves to surrender to what is there. And being in a space of this high frequency together aligned with other women is so powerful, because you are embodying each and every essence to create your own, like, who am I, but also have the capacity to be seen by strangers. And usually that is the most afraid thing, right? Like to be in a shame, like, I don't know these people, what are they gonna think about me? Like I just coming with my sister, or I'm just going with my other girlfriend comes. But you know what, like, we are born alone and we're gonna die alone. And if you don't take time to discover who you really are, then nobody's gonna do that. I was talking recently to Marquise, and he was saying to me, like, 5% of the population really know who they are and embody themselves. Only 5%. And 15% of the people know more or less, they think they know who they are. Just 15%, right? So it's so important to like navigate yourself and take the time for yourself, because the world is moving so fast. And it's gonna move even faster. Gonna move even faster. And and that is also the most important thing that you are carrying with your soul. That is your purpose, to find out who you are, to pull it out. Everybody are so gifted. But this gift, you have to unpack, you have to unleash it. You have to take the time to discover it. And you can have two choices. You can discover it with pain, when you are at the bottom of your life and you're hurting as hell and you're feeling that pain, and therefore you make a change because it hurts so much. Or you can choose it with love. If you are willing to step out of your comfort zone like Eunice did. And I'm so, so proud of you. Thank
It's
you
Yeah.
so, so much. What a
I'll
blessing.
let you go, Marquise.
No,
What
I
are you guys
was gonna
say?
say,
Okay.
go ahead, Eunice. Like, and so like we're setting this up, and now take us there.
No,
You just
but you
left
know what?
Paris. Just keep going.
She said something that I think is like so two things. One, that women's circle group, those are my sisters. Okay. First of all, I was the only American. I was probably one of two people that spoke fluent English outside of Seoul. There were people that identified a few things and I was able to communicate. What I appreciate so much is there was a communal unity just around we are all here, we're present, and that is enough. And I can meet you where you are because you're here. And because you're here and you're present, that is enough. And I'm going to hold space for you because you made the same decision I made. I might not know what you're saying all the time, but you're here for the same reason that I am. And if this experience at any point is, beneficial for me, it has to be the same thing for you. And
Yeah.
holding space does not mean that I need to speak the same language as you. Holding space just means I need to be present and understand that we are human. We are all going through things. Your experience is not, it's not, a comparison, but more so that we all are working through some things. So I just wanted to say that in regards to, I know it can be a little fearful to walk into a room and not know people, but if everyone is there and we make sure everyone is there, I think Soul and Sada do a really great job with really setting aside your ego. Who do you think you are? What are the titles that you carry? You leave that at the door. Nobody cares about who you are. And so you're able to really be present. There was a lot of shedding, and shedding comes in a lot of forms. And so to this day, we have a relationship because in the best way that we can. Anytime they put something in the chat, I have to go to Google Translate. It's hilarious. It takes me 15 minutes to text them back, but it is it's something that I'm committed to because it's a part of the relationship. The other thing that I just wanted to touch on is to do things in love. I think that a lot of the reasons why we may come to spaces like the women's circle or a retreat, a healing or meditation retreat, is because things happened to us that angered us or made us sad. To bring those things into this space and really gather love around it, I'm able to forgive and release people, things, time, and experiences without those people even knowing. And that is also the power that we have because the love resides in me. You know, the breath work allows for me to really feel that I have this power in me that allows me to heal circumstances and situations and instances that I will never revisit again. And the healing is continuous because I'm gonna be honest, I was tested the moment that I got off that plane. 15 minutes later, my phone was going off, work was happening, things was happening, but I had to show up in love, and you choose to make decisions out of love. And so again, the integration, it goes through its parts, but I've continued my work in sound therapy. I've continued my work in personal meditations. I've done the butterfly meditation in my bed. I was joking with Marquise the other day. I was like, I don't know. I thought I was cocooning and I thought I came out and I thought I was a butterfly and I'm back in the cocoon room. So give me a minute. But that is the beautiful part of this work. And it makes me in love with being in love with my life and myself. Whereas before I identified myself by the latest promotion, the latest bag, the latest thing, the latest project. And now I'm uni and that is enough. And it's a beautiful thing to be here. And I'm really grateful to people like you that really hold space and allow for us to find ourselves over and over and over again. And I'm just obsessed with it.
I have a question. So I know you got something, but I have to ask Uni this question. Because Uni, you spent all of your time talking about love, its power, and the transformation through it. I know that sometimes people are afraid of these uncomfortable spaces where they get to discover themselves. And I know that you and I share a background in Christianity as part of our foundation. Did you feel like there was any conflict for you, or did it seem like totally flow? For people who may be listening, thinking about the Miami retreat, like, I'm not sure if that can be for me. So there's hesitancy, and I know, self-doubt could show up. Did you
for
feel any
sure.
conflict or anything?
No. Okay, for two reasons. One, we had a little angel there. Her name was Eliani. And she made very clear that God is in me. I possess that. So there is no conflict. There's no. I mean, our job, a part of fasting, if you will, is a part of shedding. Okay,
That's
so
right.
this is another shedding. And so if God is in me and I am here to perfect my inner God, my inner goddess, my inner spirit, then it's all aligned. So there was no conflict. And there was room for me to pray to whoever I wanted to pray to. If I wanted to pray to God, I could. If somebody else had a different religion, they could pray to whoever. But in your meditation, it's not about your spiritual, because those spiritual things are there, I feel like, as tools to help us navigate. But I'm me. Like, I'm this. So like, I have Christianity as a tool to help me have morale and make decisions and create some stamina. But I just, I'm uni, and uni is hurting, and uni is sad, and uni is a little lost, and uni is, I'm all of these other things, but I can be honest and say that I wasn't completely whole, and I don't think we ever are completely whole. I am okay with transforming consistently. I'm okay that I'm this person today, the 17th. Is today the 17th, 18th? And I'm somebody different on the 20th. It's okay. Because I'm moving, I'm progressing. And I've learned to be okay with that and not judge myself. A lot of and that's a big part of my healing, was self-inflicted. A lot of this stuff is self-inflicted. It's the stories that we tell ourselves and the experiences that we have with others that try to tell us who we are. I'm not that. I'm this, and I'm this today, So how people deal with me now,
How is
it's
it?
it's a little shaky. It's a lot. It's really quiet over here. I'm going to be honest. It's really quiet. You start to identify the places in which it's a non-negotiable. And if I can get on a plane and it take me over the course of flying 26 hours to get to the place that I lay down all of my burdens, or I won't say lay down, I would say planted a new seed. I planted a new seed. I'm going to say that, because, and let me reframe it. I didn't lay down anything. I planted a new seed, and this root is going to be stronger than the other roots that are around. Trees, they respond to the roots that are near them, and they become stronger depending on what's planted near them. And this one of awareness is a much deeper root, and I believe it's going to carry me over. So yes, relationships have changed. Some of them we've been able to talk through. Others I've been able to identify, this ain't it, because I made this decision based on my low frequency self, and that ain't me anymore. So I got to go left, and I'm going to ask the universe to open up more doors. But y'all, it's good over here. It feels really good.
I love that.
It feels really good.
I love that you said you made decisions from your low frequency self. You can acknowledge it and make the shift. And I don't think many people ever understand that. And so I love that you brought that up. Yeah. So, any questions that are showing up?
Any question? Yeah, so.
No, I don't have any question. Like, one question will be like, what do you see, like, talking to yourself, that you were like acting different before the retreat, and now you talk different with yourself because you have more consciousness, maybe because you've been able to train this muscle to be present, that you're like, oh, When was
I
like
would
the
say
time that you were like, oh, that's different now.
yeah,
That is the change
no.
right now.
The bounce back is quick. I think that when we make mistakes, or I think that when we have interactions that don't agree with where we are, whether we make those mistakes, somebody kind of imparts pain or judgment or something on us, we then do actions that affirm that energy.
Woo! Say that again.
So we
Say that
may,
again.
we may eat bad. We may smoke a cigarette. We may go on a binge drinking. We may inflict pain on others because it makes us valid. We may do a lot of things. We may do whatever. My bounce back is so quick. I sit. I don't want it to give away all the meditations because then, so I don't know. But
Yeah, no.
one, yeah, no. One of them is completely feeling what you feel. Like, you disappointed yourself? I disappointed myself. This hurt me. This really, okay, what do you feel? Where do you feel it? And let me know when you're empty. Let me know when you're done. That process, I think we have the opportunity to put a stop to it instead of continuing in it. And that's where habits are formed, because you do something to get out of that immediate feeling. And now you've created a habit, but now my habit now is taking a pause. Before I do anything, I'm taking a pause. I might disappear for 20 minutes and people are like, where did you go? What are we doing now? Because I need a minute for myself. So, I would really say just, taking a minute, like that has been, really, really, really powerful for me, in this process as well. And just really feeling it. Yeah.
That's great.
Good stuff. All right.
And I think if like you were talking about, that was when I made decision, when I had my low frequency, and that is what it's all about in the Women's Circle Retreat. Really to open up a space where you can truly be yourself, but also feel the feelings that need to be felt, because we're so much in this people pleaser, so much in this we have to function, so much in this role of the theater, that we forget what is actually my essence. Who am
Yes.
I really, without pretending or trying to please somebody else out there, and to open up a room and not being judged. So what happens is, for example, if you have anger inside of you, but you don't feel it at the end, it's still active, it's alive, it's going to show up in
Yes.
your body in a different way,
Yes. Yes.
with illness or with something else. But also you're going to attract this kind of people that also are in tuned in the same frequency of anger. So there is the connection. So there is like, if you are more if you're more like in a role of victimized, you're gonna find
Attract
someone
victims.
that's gonna hit you, because you are radiating this frequency and everything is energy. So it's really about feeling your feelings in this. It has nothing to do with religion, it has nothing to do with something outside of you. It has really to do to go in connection with your body, with your feelings, with your emotion, with your soul, and with your purpose.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I love it. All right. So I have a
It's
question. Oh, no, no,
just really
please go, Yulia.
just one quick
Don't go
point. I want to say
quick.
no, but really just it's a touch. The energy piece I didn't get in my retreat. I want to be clear. The energy piece is what I learned in integration, because I didn't learn energy. I mean, I knew energy. Everything has energy. Everything has energy. I mean, you hear it, whatever. But I learned energy because I was just like, once you clear the slate and retreat, your palette is clean. And so if you start to see things come back, that they are going to come back because that's what resided before you left. And so they're going to come back. But it wasn't until I was like, no, I'm going to put words and affirmations into this energy, and I began to see those things change. And people start to see those things change. So I think energy, I just want to clarify, for me, I didn't get the energy piece in retreat. I got the energy piece in integration.
Yeah.
Because if my power is identified, now I have this, like, ooh, what do I do with it? Okay, let me try something. Love, boom, and it didn't happen. Okay, all right, that was nice. Let me try something else. So it's been really playful. I've been really playful with the energy, and it's powerful. It works. It's a real thing. Yeah, I just want to say that.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. So I have a question around, so we're talking about Eunice's transformation on this Monday moment. I'm just giving you a dive into important people in my life and some energy and some transformation and an experience that was had, because there's an opportunity for you, and I get nothing from it. Let's just be really clear. But there's an opportunity for you. If you have a woman in your life, or you are a woman and you have other women in your life, there is an opportunity for you to experience some of what Eunice experienced, but your version of it, for whatever it is that you need, that's transpiring in a little over a month, and in about 6 weeks down in Miami. You don't have to do what Eunice did, look for the work bonus to go overseas, although it was worth every dollar, as she explained.
Every
You
single
can,
dollar.
right? You can do it here in the U.S.,
Yeah.
right down in Miami. If you're outside the U.S. listening, you can fly to Miami. Ladies, could you break down dates, what to expect? Obviously, what to expect is Eunice's experience, her version of it,
And
but
I'll be
a little bit of
there.
it. And
And
you
I'll be
were
there.
there.
I'll
Yes,
be
you
there.
were
I'll
there.
be there. I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you go. So, and whatever you
Yeah.
need, let me know.
Yeah. It's gonna be October 27 until October 29, and we're gonna start at 10 a.m. and we're gonna finish at 2 p.m. And it's gonna be like the exact same program that Eunice did. It's really about discovering yourself, your truest self, and yeah, listen to the voice of your spirit, of your soul, and reconnecting with you. And without cell phone, it's gonna be like vegan food, because it helps us really to open up our third eyes, and
True.
your body is not losing the energy to digest, because we can digest quicker and we can use that for our meditation. And yeah, you just come, take something comfortable, bring something that you can take your journal, or you can write things down. I think Eunice did the same
I
thing.
did.
When you have like thoughts, or you want to like, and it's really like she said, I'm just throwing up a stone in the sea, and whatever comes, the waves that comes after is actually the transformation, is in the integration time. What are you able to put in practice? What are you able to take it for yourself? And also there, I'm not talking too much. I'm just giving you an example how it could look like. But you have a buffet of things that you can use for yourself, tools that you can use for yourself in your daily day, and
Yes.
that works for you. It's everything is for you. So do you, for you, to be you.
Yeah. Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
So the idea is that no one's changing you.
Yeah.
No
Oh
one's
no.
trying to change you. A space, a sacred space is being created that's been dealt out, that's been prepared, that's been studied, that's been practiced for years to allow for facilitation of flow. I
Yeah.
experience I had an experience in Chicago out of nowhere. My body just went through this transformation thing where I'm like crying. I'm like at a public event. At the end of the event, I'm like shedding tears, bawling, going through this transformation process that just came out of nowhere. But when I say out of nowhere, I've been breathing. I've been doing a lot of internal work, paying attention to my soul and spirit. I've been on this growth journey, as y'all know how I like to flow anyway. But I'd been on this growth journey, and Soul and I had done several meditations over months and things like that, that kind of just, I guess, softened my space. And then one day, just out of nowhere, this transformation began to happen, this physical, internal, like life-changing, like spirit transformation thing began to happen, seemingly out of the blue. And what I learned in that moment was there was something unique about Soul I'd never experienced before. I was going through my transformation. It was beginning. She's like, oh, this is spiritual. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And at that moment, I got to discover a different part of her that was aware of this world. And I didn't know this about her. I heard it, I had an idea, but I was experiencing it firsthand. She's a navigator. She's like a midwife to help you open and walk through your journey. She wasn't telling me what to do other than breathe and allow. She wasn't saying, and now do this, you should do that, what's happening? It was none of that. It was pure ease and facilitation around, just keep breathing, all is well. What are you feeling? As I was going through my own journey, I had a guide, a coach, someone who just happened to be there to nurture me through that process. From when, and I say process, I mean literally, it was probably 3 hours. I'm going through this transformation that I'd never experienced in my life, but I had peace. I had peace because I knew I was conscious, but I could feel, and spiritually I was going through something that I was being upgraded. I was being transformed, but right here on my side, it's calm. Gently touching my back here or there, just listening, being present, encouraging me to feel, to walk through it, to experience it, to allow it, to where I have new posture, to where I have a new awareness of myself. It was, she held the space for me to get what I needed as my body, spirit, and mind were interacting with one another. That quote, that stat that Soul gave earlier, that only 5% of people actually know who they are. We live in a world, especially in America, where we talk this trash. I know who I am. Say it. We say it, but we're really saying we know who we are and what we won't tolerate from the base level, not from the depth of who we are. The research, even if, let's say the research is off by 5%, that still means only 10% of people actually know who they are and live it. There's a difference between knowing it and living it. And that's what Soul was talking about, because the research says 15% of people are aware of who they are, what they believe, why they believe it, why they do what they do, but only 5% of people live it, which means 95% of us are out of tune with our truth. And we certainly don't actually live from our truth. We live from our emotions. We live from our emotions. We live from responding. You're not going to do this to me, or I know what I deserve. And all that's hogwash, all that's trash, all that's surface level stuff, because that's what's around us, because 95% of us live that way.
Yeah.
For those of you who are ready to go deep and to really discover who you are, that's a very, very different conversation. And that's what this workshop offers. Would you agree, Eunice? Because you experienced it I experienced it solo dolo on the street, but
I'm just, I don't know. I can't say that I had an expectation. I had a calling. I just was like, I'm going. No, I'm going. No, like, just like you wake up in the morning, are you going to have coffee or tea? I'm having coffee. Another thing that Soul says to me is, wherever there is certainty, there is peace. Wherever there is certainty, there is peace. So it has shifted. So you also asked me what has happened. It shifted the way that I make decisions. Am I certain about this? Am I certain? If I'm not certain, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It does not reside with me. Then that means I'm opening myself up to something that I am not certain of, which means I can essentially be in an interaction or receiving something that I am not prepared to receive. I'm prepared for anything, but I already got a concoction going. I don't want anything to interrupt what I have going. So I can't say that I was ready. I don't know if I was ready because at that time I was in a fog of like life, like it, you know, excuse me, but stuff was happening. Like SHIT was happening. Like things were popping off. Bombs was going off. Landmines was going off. And so I was in a field of smoke. Let's just call it that. I was in a field of smoke and clouds. So I can't say that I had vision for myself, but I had a calling in my heart. There's a time and a point, and I don't want people, again, it's not going to fix you, but I think there's a time when there's a time when you just like, I'm going. And if you just make the little bitty step, everything else is going to fulfill itself for you. If you just, even if you have the desire, the little desire is going to take you further. And if you just have the courage, it takes courage. It takes courage. It don't even take bravery. It takes courage. You gotta have courage to do it. To just even sit in a space amongst other people while they're being vulnerable. Because think about it. If somebody is crying next to you, you don't know them. You're like, oh, this is kind of awkward. I don't know. Should I hug you? Should I? I don't know.
Yeah.
But now I took courage and I'm looking at this person, and it teaches you very early in the retreat how to hold space. It checks in with you before we do any meditation. Are you in a good space to hold? Are you in a good place to hold space for another sister, for another woman? You're not in a good place? Okay. You let us know when you're ready. And it's with a smile. And it's not, I'm still working out my stuff. I need a walk. After one of the meditations, it had hit me so bad, like not bad. There was so much emotion and so much shedding. And I went through a threshold of this meditation. I needed to take a walk in nature. I had to get out of the building. I needed to get away from everybody. I could not believe what had just happened to me. That was my own power. So I just wanted to say that. But also, you spoke about the midwife. And I don't think I've ever said this to Sol, but I want to be one. I want to be a midwife for other women at some point. I know that life is coming. But because I think it's a lot simpler than we make it out to be. And it's not that deep. I'm a professional woman, and I sit with other professionals that are big bosses. And if they had a tiny seed of courage that they have to do their job, to put in the work, to find out who they are, they would be much more happier. Their career would excel so much more. And I'm identifying that is where I want to reside, but I got to keep working on me. And so while I'm working on me, I'm taking notes. And I want to be that for people, but I'm also very conscious of who I talk to about this, because it is something to protect. It is something to respect, because people can minimize your transition because they can't fathom or think about how far it can make it for them. And I won't allow anyone to project their low frequency over here. Like, we have to be able to have a very genuine conversation about like growth. And if we can't have a genuine conversation, I'm going to hold your hand and hold space with you. And I'm going to say, let's keep walking. Because you will come to a point, I pray nothing happens, but something will have you look in the mirror and be very clear about what your journey and purpose is here, or else you'll just die beautifully. And no one wants to do that.
Wow. And I think that's such an amazing point that you just mentioned. And I want really to point this a little bit deeper out. I mean, there are so many opportunities to heal or to figure out who you are. And most of them are in the head. Most of them are reading books, listening to podcasts. All of that is great. But what if you just allow yourself to experience that you are already enough, that you already have everything you need, that you are already fulfilled and complete, and that doesn't stay just for 5 minutes. If you read the book and then you close the book or you close the podcast, just like, wow, that was inspiring, that was really good. Okay, but there is no integrity. There is no integrity because it's impossible. It's impossible to have such an shift, such an excitement in your body, in your heart space, and to go back and live just like never, something never exists before. It's impossible.
Right.
You're gonna feel that change. And I think that is the difference. And so it's about you to decide what kind of experience you want to allow
You want,
yourself.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, it's amazing because I would never forget one of my sisters even said, we have a very open dialogue after our meditations, after everyone kind of settles. And one of my sisters said, but it's so easy to do it when I'm here, because this was not her first retreat. Maybe this was her second or third. It's so easy to do it while I'm here. And it's so true. It is so easy to do it in this protective bubble. But outside of the retreat, again, I called this energy into my life. I asked for a family, people, a community that would help reaffirm this energy, this feeling. And I personally take Sound Journey sessions, and every week or 2 weeks I'm on a sound journey, and it just, again, we're talking about energy. It moves the energy within your body. It's my In Harmony family. I don't know if anybody's on here. I can't see any comments, but I just want to say those sound journeys help to affirm that power and affirm it. That energy that you feel in the retreat, it helps to do that. And you have to replace those things that you are leaving behind with something that is affirming to this newfound place. And if you're not doing that, then you're only back at square one.
Yeah.
And so it is really important, one, to have these conversations like this, conversations with the group, conversations with people that are high frequency, but also be very selective in who you're speaking to after, because your spirit is your baby. Your baby. You got to take care of that newfound, space and feeling. So.
Yeah, no, that's good, because you're coming from a 95%er into a world you have no familiarity
idea.
with. You have no clue how beautiful you really are. You have no clue. It'll be the first time seeing yourself. My favorite movie is The Matrix, when he comes and he's rebirthed and he's like, where am I? That's what it's like. And so having that support becomes a big deal. And Miami can be your entryway into that
and
world.
It just starts. It just begins there.
Yeah.
It begins there. You don't know. You don't know. Listen, do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it.
Yeah.
Do it. It's a very small piece to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Where do they need to go to register for the dates that are coming up? Because I know somebody on here knows somebody that knows somebody that needs to be there, whether it's them or not.
Okay, it's like www.womencircleretreat.com.
I'm putting it in the chat, and I'll put it at the end of the live as well. Womencircleretreat.com.
Yeah.
Coming up.
And also, if you don't want to come to Miami, you can come to Switzerland. We're gonna have retreats in Bali next year too. Like there are.
No, wait. So don't put it off. Get your butt to Miami.
Yeah.
If you've been looking, Eunice, let me ask it this way. Eunice, many people want to go to Bali. Now that you've had the experience, would you have rather waited for next year to go to Bali to get it because it's in Bali? Or are you grateful you left Miami to go to Switzerland? You tell me.
Well, I would say you're going for healing. Healing is where you are. So if it's in Miami, then yeah. If it's in Bali, then yeah. I mean, I would go to Bali, but
no. What I mean is, would you put it off for a year? The experience you've had.
No. I mean, I don't. Listen, you go to Miami. That's first, and then you go to Bali. I mean, it's one is not over the other. You do both. You know, it's. I'm also learning it's not a one-time fix, guys.
Right.
Like you
That's right. It's
cannot
an
think
intro.
that it's an intro, and then
Mhm.
you have an intermission called life, and then you
Yep.
go back with new
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
There's always something to discover,
Yeah.
and it's not a web. It's not a web. You know, people are like, oh yeah, it's like leading. It's not a maze. It's just it's I don't know. It's life. Do you want it? Do you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
do you want it? Do you want
Yeah.
it? What do you really want? You
What you
know,
really want.
what do you really want? So,
What you really want. And at the same time, it is a shortcut. It is a shortcut because
yes,
we open up the
absolutely.
space to to really make this experience
Yes.
in love.
Yeah.
So many
Absolutely.
times we are going through emotional things, but we are alone.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
We
Yes.
don't feel
Right.
connection because we are alone, and we think that we are wrong the way we are because we are judging our emotion while we are going through that.
That's right.
And so this experience, whoever has problem with connection, with deep connection, you cannot fix it alone. You cannot fix it just
Right.
with the
You
book.
cannot.
Cannot fix it. You have to go inside and experience that in the group.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
It's
it's
so
about,
funny. Go,
yeah,
go,
if
go,
it's about
go.
connection, if it's about connection, you have to heal through the connection.
You
Mm.
cannot do this alone.
Yeah.
I've
Mm.
tried it. It
Me
doesn't
too.
work. You know,
Me too.
you
Me
cannot
too.
do it alone.
Mm.
We are not made to do this stuff alone. We're
Yeah.
not
We are
made
not.
to do
We
it.
are
We're
not.
not created. It took two people to create you. So that lets you know we are not made to do anything alone. But we have to do this walk alone. And I have light guides that, again, I called these people in my life. I cannot make this up. There's no way in the world that they will be in my life, but they are very much in my life and very present in this growth, and I am in theirs. I'm learning that this relationship is reciprocal, so you can speak to that. But like, we healed each other, and it is not always just about healing, but I see you. I see you. I know what I can hold space for you. And I'm not hugging you. I'm not saying, oh, so that sucks. I'm
Yeah.
not saying, what do give me a hug. I'm saying, I'm here. And what do you need? It allows you to make a decision about how you want people to show up in your life. And so it's a beautiful thing. I've never felt more connected to a community and even to myself until I started this journey. I am even more excited about the gifts in which that I know that I've had to share them with the world. I'm just really, really, and not even with the world, but sharing with my little community. Because if I could get 6 of us together, we can take over some stuff.
Good.
So yeah.
I love
Amazing.
it.
I just saw this Pascal. She was also in the retreat. She was saying, Eunice,
Pascal!
you are glowing.
Oh, I love you, Pascal. I love you
Me
so
too.
much. We are, how many hour difference is it?
Right now it's
7.
like 6.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
6.
East Coast.
Okay. So my point is, we communicate through chat almost a half day apart. That's how committed we are to the relationships, but it takes us a half day to even send one. You almost have to say everything so that when the person responds, they're answering everything. But Pascal is my sister, y'all. I mean, again, I didn't know these people. I didn't know them. And now we are connected because we shared space with the other person. She also about not doing this alone. I'm learning even in my sound journeys, and it's affirmed in this retreat experience that your experience and your healing is possible because of who's in your room. Okay. You don't even get to decide who's in the room. You get to decide what you take away from it, but I know 100% my experience is different because of a Pascal, because of a Eliani, because of a Soul, because of a Sada, because they were all in the room. Okay. And so even the pairing, during your meditations, it's very organic. The universe is choosing for you. It
Wow.
kind of already teaches you to yield to the things of the unknown. And I think that's where a lot of my life anxiety has come in. And maybe that's not even maybe, but that's definitely why I've chosen a lot of things, trying to solidify my future and try to
Yeah.
minimize that anxiety when it only
Yeah.
had made it worse.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yield,
Yeah.
yield,
Yeah.
yield. The more that you can
Yeah.
yield is the better.
Eunice, you just said something so paramount. We try to control our lives in the narrative because we think it's going to give us what we need, but when we release, we discover there's more than enough already available. And we're able to then move through that freedom to experience the true abundance in physical, spiritual, relational, financial, mental, social, sexual, relational, all of that through
All of
the
it.
release, not the desire to control. That's incredible. That's huge. That's
As
huge.
you're saying
Thank you
that, I
so
feel
much.
a waterfall running in my soul. I mean, and now you talk about church. I'm churchy, so I can get real churchy. But I feel a waterfall of love. I mean, it is so true how the abundance is not in money. Abundance is in awareness. Your abundance is in your abundance is in your breath. Oh my God. Abundance is in the breath that you take. I mean, when you're in this retreat, we have a breath work um, meditation that when you breathe in, thank your lungs, or we have another retreat that says do you feel it? Thank your spine, feel your nails, thank your skin, thank your hair, thank your senses, thank your eyes. Woo! You have so much to be grateful for, and it's just very small. It's
Yeah.
really it no, I won't say it's small.
Yeah, wait till you miss one of them. All of a
Make
sudden, it's not small at
stuff
all.
changes exactly. So it's all in that. So yeah.
So, any closing remarks around this? We're coming up on an hour, which is not what we planned, but it's been so
It's
good. It is
not
what
what
it
we
is.
planned at
Yeah.
all. My phone is gonna die.
Yeah, look, I got people
Yeah.
calling. I'm like, just pause. So,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
would you like to wrap up? And then I'll close the Monday moment, as it were.
Yeah. No, it's been just beautiful to see, to hear, to connecting with your guys. Pascal was being here, and I feel a lot of love and support. And yeah, it's like it's one of the most beautiful things that you can discover. Like your feminine power, it's so real and it's undescribable. I always say I will never have like I will never be able to express what it is because it's undescribable. Not even in 15 languages I will be able to describe to you what it is. It's something that you have to discover for yourself. And it's just a power within. And the power, the definition of the power is the capacity and the ability to choose how to react when the problem comes. And
Yes.
to allow yourself to receive is the feminine,
Yes.
and both together is just a wonderful mix. And it's like it's it's been lost. It's like a remembering because it's all there. It's just a journey that you remember. You remember your power, you remember yourself, you remember why you are here. And yeah, if
And
you're
you get
ready,
to
you're ready.
choose.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get to choose. You remember your power and you remember, but sometimes I don't have a memory base.
yeah,
So because my slate is clean, I get to choose who I want and I get to choose what I want.
Yeah.
And, yes, yeah, we can remember because at some point we do experience great power. I think that's very true. But I'm really in the spirit of choice right now. It feels so good. Like I get to choose. I have one of my best friends. His name is Dutch, and he said to me, you need reinvent yourself, girl. Forget it. Like F it all. Reinvent yourself. Be who you want to be. And now that you have this very assured, clean, you know, awareness, you can be who you're going to be, and it multiplies, and it is going to multiply. And I can't wait to see what it
Yeah.
does.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
gonna love to see you win because you're already winning. You know the
And I
talk,
thank
as
you.
my
I
mama
thank you.
said. You know the
I
talk.
know, I know, I know. Listen, and oh, that's the other thing. The women in the circle are not like you. There are so many different age range. There were so many different nationalities. You had people that were double my age, same age, a little older than me, a little younger than me. And I think we all just really spoke to each other's experience and whole space. Nobody was more wise or less wise. Like we all were present. And so I think that was really beautiful as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that this smile is permanent because I'm so happy to see and hear like about the transformation. There's nothing like it. I learned a few years ago in the Landmark Circle that decision is to cut off, and there's nothing wrong with decision, but there's so much more power in choosing just because you chose. There's so much
Yes.
more freedom in that.
Yes.
So this, my friends,
Oof, I
has
want to say
been,
something else.
yeah,
I want to say one
go
more
ahead.
thing. So you talk about freedom. I'm sorry. It's just all coming really quick. We have to normalize saying goodbye. Can we talk about that for a second? We got to normalize saying goodbye to your old self. I think we're so often, we're like, yeah, we're ready for the next. But we have to, as much as we're ready for the next, we have to also normalize saying goodbye. Goodbye to people, goodbye to things. I think we don't always talk about that part and that process, because in the retreat, you are giving up. You have to give away. You have to discard. And it's not it's not an opportunity for you to just add and stack more things on. What are you giving up? And so that was really hard for me because I have separation anxiety, just like about a lot of things. It's no longer something that I claim. But it's the way that I've made decisions in my life. And so giving up those things, I release those things, and you feel so much better. You're not realizing that you're actually holding and carrying, and that shit is heavy. Okay.
Yeah.
You're carrying that stuff around with you. So normalizing the goodbye is something we also learned in the retreat as well.
That's so
Mm,
interesting. The scripture that comes to mind is his yoke is easy, his burden is
Burden
light.
is light.
But we
Yes.
have to be
Yes.
willing to let go of what we think we have to hold on to and step into this newness, which isn't new.
It's
It's
not
just
new.
you.
It's just you.
It's
Come on
you.
now. Close
It's
out the Monday moment
you.
now. You better
Come
close
on.
out the Monday.
Right?
I
Because
love
here
it.
we are
Yeah.
out here pretending.
Yeah.
95% of us are still pretending we know who we are. The research shows us we
We're
don't know
not.
who we are. We're just responding to culture and what someone shows us. And only 5% are going deep within, connecting, and actually living it out.
Yes.
And that's what this is an invitation to you is now, a catalyst to help you on that path.
Yes.
Happening in Miami, October 27th, a Friday, through the Sunday, the
Sunday.
29th. Get your calendars scheduled. You can
It's
register
worth the
now.
PTO day. It's worth the PTO day. Take the
There you
PTO
go.
day.
There you
It's
go.
worth it.
There you go. Starting at 10 o'clock on Friday, the 27th, ending at 2 p.m. on that Sunday, the 29th.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
chat will be all the information you need. This has been the Monday moment, although it's
I
been a
love you
moment.
guys.
I
I
It's
love
been
you
a
as
moment.
well. I love you as well. It's been a long moment. To all my friends, Antoine, Sonia, like so many of y'all showed up and
Yeah. Pascal said this conversation touched my heart so much. Love this energy
Oh,
of you all. Yeah, I love you too.
all right, y'all.
Amazing.
I
The Women's Circle Retreat, October 27th through the 29th in Miami. Get your tickets
bring your
now so you can get your
swimsuit. Bring your
reservation.
swimsuit.
Bring your
Bring your
swimsuit. There
swimsuit.
you go. There you go. All right.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. I always try to figure out how in the world do you end these things.